Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of News Connect this afternoon. In the next 1 hour, we'll get to everything that's been making it to the headlines. We'll get to national headlines, international updates, sports updates, updates from the world of business, enough to keep you engaged for the next 1 hour. First, we get to the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shares his thoughts in his 75th episode of Mann Ki Baat program, expresses gratitude to listeners for making this program a success, urges people to take the story of freedom struggle to the people through Amrit Mahotsav, also says birth anniversary of Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar this time has become even more special. Prime Minister also stresses on the importance of adoption of modern agricultural technology. Besides traditional methods, cites examples of beekeeping, says it is emerging out to be foundation of a sweet revolution. Prime Minister says India is running world's largest vaccination drive, says tremendous amount of enthusiasm witnessed among elders towards this drive, also appeals all to take vaccine, urges people to follow the mantra of Dawai Bhi, Kadai Bhi. India crosses a landmark milestone of over 6 crore vaccine doses administered, more than 24 crore COVID tests conducted in the country. Centre advises high-burden states and union territories to take stringent measures for containment of the surge. Senior BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah addresses a press conference in New Delhi, thanks people of West Bengal and Assam for high turnout in the first phase poll, says BJP will get more than 200 seats in West Bengal, also says based on its work, BJP will return to power in Assam. Campaigning in full swing for assembly polls, senior BJP leader Rajnath Singh addresses press conference and holds roadshow in Thiruvananthapuram. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi addresses a public rally in Chennai. More than 110 protesters killed in Myanmar crackdown by security forces. International community condemns the lethal crackdown on protesters. US and UK condemn the crackdown on the protesters. In cricket, in a decisive one-day international match against England in Pune, Shikhar Dhawan and RJ Sharma give good start to India. Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya consolidate innings for India after 2 quick dismissals. Alright, those were the top stories. Let's get to the news in detail now. Prime Minister highlighted that this episode of his monthly radio show coincides with the month that marks the commencement of Amrit Mahotsav of 75 years of independence. He also shared one of the many messages he received on Namo app. Let's take a look.
Prime Minister Modi on Sunday addressed the nation in monthly radio program Mann Ki Baat. It was the 75th Mann Ki Baat program and the Prime Minister called it a pleasant coincidence to express his 75th radio program on the very month that marks the commencement of the Amrit Mahotsav of the 75 years of independence.
अमृत महोत्सव दांडी यात्रा के दिन से शुरू हुआ था और 15 अगस्त 2023 तक चलेगा। अमृत महोत्सव से जुड़े कार्यक्रम पूरे देश में लगातार हो रहे हैं। अलग-अलग जगहों से इन कार्यक्रमों की तस्वीरें, जानकारियां लोग शेयर कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi shared one of the many messages he received on Namo app, where a resident of Jharkhand named Naveen shared pictures of him watching programs on Amrit Mahotsav. Naveen in his message also said that he has decided to visit at least 10 places connected with the freedom struggle, starting with the birthplace of Bhagwan Birsa Munda.
नवीन ने लिखा है कि झारखंड के आदिवासी स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों की कहानियां वो देश के दूसरे हिस्सों में पहुंचाएंगे। भाई नवीन, आपकी इस सोच के लिए मैं आपको बधाई देता हूं।
Through his radio show, Prime Minister Modi asked people to become a means to connect with the countrymen by bringing to the fore the struggle saga of a freedom fighter, the history of a place, or any cultural story from the country.
और फिर ऐसी अमृत धारा बहेगी जो हमें भारत की आजादी के 100 वर्ष तक प्रेरणा देगी, देश को नई ऊंचाई पर ले जाएगी, कुछ न कुछ करने का जज्बा पैदा करेगी।
Prime Minister Modi said in the struggle for independence, freedom fighters had undergone a number of hardships. The Prime Minister said the freedom fighters considered sacrifice for the sake of the country as their duty.
हमारे सेनानियों ने कितने ही कष्ट इसलिए सहे क्योंकि वो देश के लिए त्याग और बलिदान को अपना कर्तव्य समझते थे। उनके त्याग और बलिदान की अमर गाथाएं अब हमें सतत कर्तव्य पथ के लिए प्रेरित करें। और जैसे गीता में भगवान कृष्ण ने कहा है, नियतम कुरु कर्म त्वम कर्म ज्यायो हकर्मणः, उसी भाव के साथ हम सब अपने नियत कर्तव्यों का पूरी निष्ठा से पालन करें। और आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव का मतलब यही है कि हम नए संकल्प करें, उन संकल्पों को सिद्ध करने के लिए जी जान से जुट जाएं। और संकल्प वो हो जो समाज की भलाई के हो, देश की भलाई के हो, भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए हो। और संकल्प वो हो जिसमें मेरा अपना स्वयं का कुछ न कुछ जिम्मा हो, मेरा अपना कर्तव्य जुड़ा हुआ हो। मुझे विश्वास है गीता को जीने का ये सुवर्ण अवसर हम लोगों के पास है।
Prime Minister Modi in his 75th episode of the Mann Ki Baat also expressed his heartfelt thanks to all the listeners for making the radio program a success, enriching it and staying connected. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi also emphasized on the need for modernization in the field of agriculture. He mentioned about adopting new alternatives, new innovations, along with traditional farming as a means for increasing the income of farmers and creation of new opportunities for employment in the agriculture sector. Let's take a look.
In the 75th edition of Mann Ki Baat program, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized on increasing the income of farmers with using modern technologies. Prime Minister mentioned how bee farming is emerging as a foundation of a honey revolution.
भारत के कृषि जगत में आधुनिकता ये समय की मांग है। बहुत देर हो चुकी है, हम बहुत समय गंवा चुके हैं। एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में रोजगार के नए अवसर पैदा करने के लिए, किसानों की आय बढ़ाने के लिए, परंपरागत कृषि के साथ ही नए विकल्पों को, नए नए इनोवेशंस को अपनाना भी उतना ही जरूरी है। व्हाइट रिवॉल्यूशन के दौरान देश ने इससे अनुभव किया है। अब बी फार्मिंग भी ऐसा ही एक विकल्प बनकर के उभर रहा है। बी फार्मिंग देश में शहद क्रांति या स्वीट रिवॉल्यूशन का आधार बना रही है। बड़ी संख्या में किसान इससे जुड़ रहे हैं, इनोवेशन कर रहे हैं।
Prime Minister Modi gave several examples from across the country, ranging from Gurdam village in West Bengal's Darjeeling to the natural organic honey of the Sundarbans of West Bengal, which is in great demand in our country and around the world.
जैसे कि पश्चिम बंगाल के दार्जिलिंग में एक गांव है गुरदुम। पहाड़ों की इतनी ऊंचाई, भौगोलिक दिक्कतें, लेकिन यहाँ के लोगों ने हनी बी फार्मिंग का काम शुरू किया और आज इस जगह पर बने शहद की, मधु की अच्छी मांग हो रही है। इससे किसानों की आमदनी भी बढ़ रही है। पश्चिम बंगाल के ही सुंदरबन इलाकों का प्राकृतिक ऑर्गेनिक हनी तो देश दुनिया में पसंद किया जाता है।
Reminiscing his personal experience in Gujarat, PM Modi shared how he had mentioned Banaskantha as being a major center for honey production and how farmers can write a new chapter of a sweet revolution.
गुजरात के बनासकांठा में बस 2016 में एक आयोजन हुआ था। उस कार्यक्रम में मैंने लोगों से कहा कि यहाँ इतनी संभावनाएं हैं, क्यों न बनासकांठा और हमारे यहाँ के किसान स्वीट रिवॉल्यूशन का नया अध्याय लिखे। आपको जानकर खुशी होगी, इतने कम समय में बनासकांठा शहद उत्पादन का प्रमुख केंद्र बन गया है। आज बनासकांठा के किसान हनी से लाखों रुपए सालाना कमा रहे हैं। ऐसा ही एक उदाहरण हरियाणा के यमुनानगर का भी है। यमुनानगर में किसान बी फार्मिंग करके सालाना कई 100 टन शहद पैदा कर रहे हैं, अपनी आय बढ़ा रहे हैं। किसानों की इस मेहनत का परिणाम है कि देश में शहद का उत्पादन लगातार बढ़ रहा है और सालाना करीब 1.25 लाख टन पहुंचा है। इसमें से बड़ी मात्रा में शहद विदेशों में निर्यात भी हो रहा है।
Further, Prime Minister Modi said that not just honey but bee wax can also become a big source of income for farmers. PM highlighted how honey bee farming is contributing to the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign and that more and more farmers should join bee farming.
साथियों, हनी बी फार्मिंग में केवल शहद से ही आय नहीं होती, बल्कि बी वैक्स भी आय का एक बहुत बड़ा माध्यम है। फार्मा इंडस्ट्री, फूड इंडस्ट्री, टेक्सटाइल और कॉस्मेटिक इंडस्ट्री, हर जगह बी वैक्स की डिमांड है। हमारा देश फिलहाल बी वैक्स का आयात करता है, लेकिन हमारे किसान अब ये स्थिति तेजी से बदल रहे हैं। यानी एक तरह से आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान में मदद कर रहे हैं। आज तो पूरी दुनिया आयुर्वेद और नेचुरल हेल्थ प्रोडक्ट्स की ओर देख रही है। ऐसे में हनी की मांग और भी तेजी से बढ़ रही है। मैं चाहता हूं देश के ज्यादा से ज्यादा किसान अपनी खेती के साथ साथ बी फार्मिंग से भी जुड़े। ये किसानों की आय भी बढ़ाएगा और उनके जीवन में मिठास भी घोलेगा।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi in this edition of Mann Ki Baat emphasized on ways for farmers to increase their income and lauded many for their innovative efforts. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also appealed to everyone to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Sharing his thoughts in his Mann Ki Baat program and All India Radio, Prime Minister Modi said that it is a matter of honor for everyone that India is running the world's largest vaccination program. He said that several people above 100 years of age have taken the jab and the enthusiasm is visible in the elderly of the households regarding the vaccine. He said amidst all these, everyone should remember the mantra to fight corona, Dawai bhi, kadhai bhi.
With the coronavirus cases surging once again across the country, Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the efforts of corona warriors in containing the virus. He said that a small act of praise gives a lot of contentment and encouraged these frontline workers.
पिछले वर्ष ये मार्च का ही महीना था। देश ने पहली बार जनता कर्फ्यू शब्द सुना था, लेकिन इस महान देश की महान प्रजा की महाशक्ति का अनुभव देखिए। जनता कर्फ्यू पूरे विश्व के लिए एक अचरज बन गया था। अनुशासन का ये अभूतपूर्व उदाहरण था। आने वाली पीढ़ियां इस एक बात को लेकर के जरूर गर्व करेगी। उसी प्रकार से हमारे कोरोना वॉरियर्स के प्रति सम्मान, आदर, थाली बजाना, ताली बजाना, दिया जलाना, आपको अंदाज नहीं है कोरोना वॉरियर्स के दिल को कितना छू गया था वो। और वही तो कारण है जो पूरी साल भर वे बिना थके, बिना रुके डटे रहे।
With its robust vaccination program, India continues to inoculate its population on a large scale. PM Modi expressed his happiness as several people above 100 years of age have taken the jab, which signifies the enthusiasm of vaccines among the elderly.
आज भारत दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम चला रहा है। वैक्सीनेशन प्रोग्राम के तस्वीरों के बारे में मुझे भुवनेश्वर के पुष्पा शुक्ला जी ने लिखा है। उनका कहना है कि घर के बड़े बुजुर्गों में वैक्सीन को लेकर जो उत्साह दिख रहा है, उसकी चर्चा मैं मन की बात में करूं। साथियों, सही भी है। देश के कोने कोने से हम ऐसी खबरें सुन रहे हैं, ऐसी तस्वीरें देख रहे हैं जो हमारे दिल को छू जाती हैं। यूपी के जौनपुर में 109 वर्ष की बुजुर्ग मां राम दुलिया जी ने टीका लगवाया है। ऐसे ही दिल्ली में भी 107 साल के केवल कृष्ण जी ने वैक्सीन की डोज ली है। हैदराबाद में 100 साल के जय चौधरी जी ने वैक्सीन लगवाई और सभी से अपील भी है कि वैक्सीन जरूर लगवाएं।
Prime Minister once again reiterated his call of Dawai Bhi, Kadai Bhi and urged everyone to stay cautious and safe. Bureau Report, DD India.
Yes, the fight against COVID-19 is on a decisive stage. Remember, Dawai Bhi, Kadhai Bhi. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi today praised the captain of the Indian women's team, Mithali Raj, for scoring 10,000 runs in international cricket. In his 75th Mann Ki Baat radio program today, the Prime Minister said that the story of Mithali Raj's perseverance and success is an inspiration not just for women cricketers, but also for male cricketers.
भारत की क्रिकेटर मिताली राज जी का नया रिकॉर्ड। मिताली जी हाल ही में अंतर्राष्ट्रीय क्रिकेट में 10,000 रन बनाने वाली पहली भारतीय महिला क्रिकेटर बनी है। उनकी इस उपलब्धि पर बहुत बहुत बधाई। वनडे इंटरनेशनल में 7,000 रन बनाने वाली भी वो अकेली अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला खिलाड़ी है। महिला क्रिकेट के क्षेत्र में उनका योगदान बहुत शानदार है। 2 दशकों से ज्यादा के कैरियर में मिताली राज जी ने हजारों लाखों को प्रेरित किया है। उनके कठोर परिश्रम और सफलता की कहानी न सिर्फ महिला क्रिकेटरों बल्कि पुरुष क्रिकेटरों के लिए भी एक प्रेरणा है।
Mithali Raj took to Twitter to thank Prime Minister Narendra Modi for acknowledging her achievements in his latest Mann Ki Baat episode today. She said that it was a very big honor for her. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, during his 75th Mann Ki Baat episode today, also greeted the nation on the occasion of Holi, Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, Navratri as well.
जिस समय हम रंगों के साथ होली मना रहे होते हैं, उसी समय बसंत भी हमारे चारों ओर नए रंग बिखेर रहा होता है। इसी समय फूलों का खिलना शुरू होता है और प्रकृति जीवंत हो उठती है। देश के अलग अलग क्षेत्रों में जल्द ही नया साल भी मनाया जाएगा, चाहे उगादी हो या पुथंडू, गुड़ी पड़वा हो या बिहू, नवरे हो या पोइला या फिर बोईशाख हो या बैसाखी। पूरा देश उमंग, उत्साह और नई उम्मीदों के रंग में सराबोर दिखेगा। इसी समय केरल भी खूबसूरत त्योहार विशु मनाता है। इसके बाद जल्द ही चैत्र नवरात्रि का पावन अवसर भी आ जाएगा। चैत्र महीने के 9वें दिन हमारे यहाँ रामनवमी का पर्व होता है। इसे भगवान राम के जन्मोत्सव के साथ ही न्याय और पराक्रम के एक नए युग की शुरुआत के रूप में भी माना जाता है। इस दौरान चारों ओर धूमधाम के साथ ही भक्ति भाव से भरा माहौल होता है, जो लोगों को और करीब लाता है, उन्हें परिवार और समाज से जोड़ता है, आपसी संबंधों को मजबूत करता है। इन त्योहारों के अवसर पर मैं सभी देशवासियों को शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
Home Minister and former BJP President Amit Shah today addressed a press conference in New Delhi. He thanked the people of West Bengal and Assam for high turnout in the first phase in these states. Amit Shah expressed hope that BJP will get more than 200 seats in West Bengal.
मैं मानता हूं कि प्रथम चरण में 26 सीटों से जो शुरुआत हुई है, हमारे लक्ष्य 200 पार को सिद्ध करने में हमें बड़ी सरलता रहेगी। इसी तरह से चुनाव आगे बढ़ता रहा, भारतीय जनता पार्टी 200 से ज्यादा सीटों के साथ बंगाल में सरकार बनाएगी, इसका मुझे विश्वास है। भाजपा के सभी कार्यकर्ताओं का विश्वास है। आसाम में भी अभी जो सीटें हैं, इससे ज्यादा सीटों के साथ हम पूर्ण बहुमत की भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनाएंगे।
He also said that it is for the first time that election in West Bengal is being conducted peacefully by the Election Commission.
आप सभी लोग भी जानते हैं, विगत कई सालों से बंगाल के अंदर चुनाव में हिंसा आम हो गई थी। ये पहला चुनाव सालों के बाद हो रहा है जहां एक भी व्यक्ति के मरे बगैर, एक भी बम फटे बगैर, एक भी गोली चले बगैर, एक भी बूथ में रीपोलिंग हुए बगैर बंगाल का चुनाव हो रहा है, मैं मानता हूं ये बहुत शुभ संकेत है।
He also said that BJP is confident that it will retain power in Assam. He added that BJP government in Assam has worked for the people in Assam and fulfilled many of its promises during the last 5 years.
47 में से 37 सीटों से ज्यादा, 37 सीटों से ज्यादा भारतीय जनता पार्टी विजय प्राप्त करेगी। इसके साफ संकेत भारतीय जनता पार्टी की चुनावी मशीनरी से हमें मिले हैं और मैं मानता हूं कि दोनों राज्यों ने एक सकारात्मक मतदान किया है। असम के अंदर आतंकवाद मुक्त असम, आंदोलन मुक्त असम, विकास के रास्ते पर चल पड़ा हुआ असम, रोजगारी के रास्ते पर चल पड़ा हुआ असम, इसके पक्ष में साफ मैंडेट दिखाई पड़ता है।
To take more details on the election temperatures in the state, we're joined in by Kamal Bora from Assam, Guwahati, and Anibrato is joining us from West Bengal. Anibrato, when we talk of the appreciation which has been coming in from Union Home Minister Anibrato, he has specifically said that in the 26 seats in which the elections were conducted, the peaceful elections have been conducted, but he also says that BJP is confident of getting more than 200 seats. Let us know how do we expect the election battle to unfold in the state this time around?
Yeah, as you know, the high-pitched electoral battle in West Bengal witnessed the first phase of the 8-phase election. But this time, it's quite striking that the first phase election was largely peaceful. Stray incidents of violence happened to take place, in one or two pockets. That is, you cannot rule out in Bengal politics because incidents of violence largely remain associated in during poll. But one thing is noteworthy, in the truest sense of word, because there was no loss of life. And even more striking is that the poll was conducted in a very peaceful manner in Jhargram. That is, the left-wing extremists used to dominate only, decades back. And still the shadows are looming large there. Yet, while all the booths were declared as sensitive and heavy presence of the central force were there, the election overall was peaceful that we witnessed this time. And again, what is largely to be said is that the turnout was even more striking because it was 82% turnout as the election commission sources have disclosed. The thing is that, only 2 hours beforehand, Home Minister Amit Shah sounded optimism that BJP will score high in Jungle Mahal this time. He said that he is hoping that BJP will score, get 26 out of 36. If it is found to be true, and if it is historically, proven fact that whichever party does good in Jungle Mahal comes to the seat of power in Bengal. So, if in the next course of election, because in the second phase, Jungle Mahal will also go into the the second phase election. There are several places in Jungle Mahal, 2 districts at Jungle Mahal there will go to the poll. The thing that is to be seen, if BJP happens to do good in Jungle Mahal and if Amit Shah's optimism is found true, then we cannot rule out that BJP certainly, as they are scoring high, that they will get 200 plus seat, and it may fructify,
All right, it may fructify, Anibrato, is what you tell us. But very quickly also, let us know what are the prospects of the different political parties this time around. Do we see any, surprise factors that might sprung up in the election battle?
As you know, this is largely a bipolar election because the Trinamool Congress, what we find that the ruling party Trinamool Congress and the biggest contender of the ruling party BJP has emerged, and Saffron surge we witnessed almost everywhere in Bengal. That was largely reflected in poll 2 this time in the first phase election. And what is even more striking, but every time we find that the opposition parties level, several irregularity against the ruling party. But this time the ruling party is, leveling allegations against BJP of this intimidation of voters and rigging and, booth capturing, all these things. So actually election commission didn't ratify anything as such, but the thing is that high pitch battle that is largely being seen between Trinamool Congress and BJP is largely striking in Bengal poll this time.
All right, from here we go across to Kamal Bora, our correspondent who's joining us from Guwahati. Kamal, you let us know how is the election battle poised there. We had optimism coming in from Home Minister Amit Shah when he said that, on the basis of development and the work which already has been done by the government, by the state government in Assam, he was confident enough that BJP will retain power in Assam.
The BJP, whatever they have done so far in the last 5 years, because of that only their confidence is in high. Till date, even as you have already said, Home Minister Amit Shah has already expressed his confidence that he is hoping for the best. He is quite hopeful that they are going to retain power here in Assam also. At the same time, I would like to say that, all the other political parties, whether it is Congress, whether it is other regional parties who are fighting this battle against BJP and Congress also, their confidence are also in high right now, because it's quite obvious that all the political parties who are in this battle, their confidence will be in high. That's true, but definitely the final result can only tell who will have the last laugh. But as far as the BJP is concerned, they are leaving no stone unturned. Today is the Holi. Holi is also celebrated in Assam in a huge way, and but we haven't seen any politicians from BJP that they are taking lead. They are not taking part in any campaign. This is not the scene today. Even Chief Minister Sarabanda Sonowal, he is also busy. He is also addressing many rallies. Even a leader from Center, I would like to say, Jitendra Singh, Dr. Jitendra Singh, he is also here and campaigning for his own party. So temperature is quite high. They are busy across the state. They don't need to leave any stone unturned, and that is why if we see the way they are campaigning right now, definitely the party workers, their enthusiasm is also in high. So definitely they are hoping for the best, and we will come to know about who will have the last life on 2nd May on.
All right, the political parties, every time there is election in any state, it is infrastructure, it is development on which, which is the center point of elections. Kamal, I would want you to specify more what is it that will be governing the election battle this time around in the state?
See, first of all, if from the BJP's point of view, whatever they have done as far as development in the sector of infrastructure, in the sector of education, health, so in all these sectors, they have touched upon all the important sectors. They have done a lot. They have done various development activities in almost all the sectors. So they are trying to highlight their success, their achievement in this election. At the same time, if we talk about Congress, they are trying to use the issue politically. They're trying to make this unemployment issue as a political issue this time. They have come up with 5 guarantees. They have promised 5 guarantees, and employment is also one of the guarantees they have given. They are saying that if they come to power, they will give 5 lakh government employment. At the same time, they will create 25 lakh employment opportunity in the private sector. So they are making this unemployment is an issue, but at the same time, BJP, they are trying to keep this momentum of development is on if they come to power. So this is the basically issue. And one more thing I'd like to share here, that BJP, they are promising a flood-free state if they come to power in the next 5 years. So this is going to be a very, very important issue this time.
All right, Kamal, thank you so much for joining us with those inputs. And Anibroto, thank you also for joining us with those inputs from West Bengal. So those were our correspondents joining us from West Bengal and Assam, telling us what could be expected in the days ahead. We'll keep you updated. Let's turn focus on to down south now. Union Minister Rajnath Singh today said that if BJP is voted to power in Kerala, it will end rampant corruption and violence in the state. Addressing a press conference in Thiruvananthapuram, Rajnath Singh said that people of Kerala need a new political alternative that can be given by BJP.
जनता यह महसूस करती है कि इस स्टेट को एक न्यू पॉलिटिकल अल्टरनेटिव की जरूरत है और वह न्यू पॉलिटिकल अल्टरनेटिव यदि कोई दे सकता है तो केवल वह बीजेपी दे सकती है। इसलिए केरला के लोग यहां पर चेंज चाहते हैं। केरल में करप्शन भी है और वायलेंस भी है। बोथ आर इन केरला स्टेट, करप्शन एंड वायलेंस। बीजेपी will bring an end to rampant political violence and corruption in the state. BJP कास्ट, क्रीड, रिलीजन के बेसिस पर पॉलिटिक्स करने वाली पॉलिटिकल पार्टी नहीं है।
Later, Union Minister and BJP leader Rajnath Singh held a roadshow in Thiruvananthapuram. Voting will be held in a single phase in Kerala on 6th of April. Counting of votes and results will be declared on 2nd of May. Addressing a rally in Tamil Nadu's Shastri Nagar, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said that he wants a relationship of equality with the people of Tamil Nadu.
The only relationship we want is one of mutual respect, love and affection. I want a relationship with the Tamil people that is equal, that is respectful. And I want a Tamil Nadu that is run from Tamil Nadu, not from Delhi.
And Abhishek Jha is joining us from Madurai to get us more details. And also we will be joined in by a correspondent from Puducherry. But Abhishek, first we come across to you. This time around, it will be for the first time that the political battle, the election battle in the state will be played out without the two stalwarts of the state. Spell out more details. How do we expect the electoral battle to pan out this time around?
Preeti, most likely the political battle in the state is going to be the same like it has been in the last 4 or 5 decades. That is pretty much bipolar, AIDMK and DMK. So this is like recently this has been one of the unique and exceptional situation when the AIDMK was voted twice in the power back to back, and this time around if it gets voted for governance again, it will be a hat-trick for AIDMK. But there is a huge anti-incumbency because 10 years it has been not a trend in this state that a political party gets to rule for 10 years, and that is one thing that AIDMK is trying to address through various of his good works and welfare schemes that the government led by Palaniswamy and OPS was doing in the state for the last 10 years, and they are also trying to cash on the goodwill and the sympathy that Amma used to have among the voters and fans in the state. On the other hand, if you talk about the DMK, of course the patriarch of DMK, Karunanidhi, is no more, but the kind of Dravidian politics that he used to be leader of, the kind of oratory skills that he had, people still enjoy and remember those skills and those leadership quality of him, and they want to feel the same image or same impression in his son Stalin, who is going to who is actually the chief ministerial candidate from DMK side. DMK is this time fighting alongside with Congress is actually fighting alongside with DMK because Congress is a smaller partner. 25 seats have been allocated to Congress this time around. On the other hand, in AIDMK camp, BJP is the smaller partner in this state because the party has been given almost 20 seats to fight on. And this time, if we can say that Congress and BJP, like both parties, do enjoy national status in so many other states, but down south, they don't have much of that appeal that they can be a big player. So in fact they are trying to make inroads and remain relevant to various of the political segment in this state.
All right, Abhishek, from here we go across to our correspondent Ravi Dhiman, who's joining us from Puducherry. Ravi, when we talk of the political scenario in the state, in 2016 polls, UPA had won 17 seats and NDA had won 12 seats. and others had, one seat there. This time around, how have the political contours changed in the state? Let us know how is the battle poised this time around.
Well, definitely the political contours have been changing continuously for the past 6 months or so. Puducherry was ruled by the Congress party led by V. Narayanasamy, but over the last few months, events unfolded and 6 MLAs of the Congress left the party, bringing down the government. The Union Territory is under the president's rule now and will go into the elections under the president's rule. So after that, from those 6 MLAs who had quit Congress, 2 later joined the BJP. The BJP is all upbeat this time around. Last time it could not win any seats. This time around, the BJP leaders say Prime Minister has already held a rally here. He'll be coming again on 30th. And they are upbeat that this time around the party will emerge as a force to reckon with. It will win seats and it will possibly form the government, is what they claim right now. There are 2 alliances. One is the NDA, which is led by the BJP, and it has an influential leader, N. Rangasamy, whose party is part of the NDA camp now. He's an erstwhile chief minister. He's been chief minister for 3 times in Puducherry. And the other camp is led by the Congress. It has AIADMK, VCK, CPI, CPM as coalition partners. Interestingly, this time around, Congress is contesting on 14 seats. It has left 1 seat which had come into its quota. And last time, the Congress won 15 seats in Puducherry. So these are the changing scenarios with which the Congress also had to make some adjustments as far as giving seats to its leaders is concerned. V. Narayanasamy, as we know, the swell chief minister, is not fighting the elections. He is campaigning, party is saying that he is campaigning for all the candidates. So Congress has fielded less number of candidates than it won in the last elections. And BJP is quite upbeat that it will be able to open its account in Puducherry and possibly be a part of the next government.
All right, BJP is upbeat, but what went wrong with the Congress, Ravi? Because if we talk of the DMK on one hand, it was tough for it to keep its flock together. At the same time, we've also seen not a big political leader from Congress has been fielded. So what is your take on what is going wrong with Congress, rather the UPA camp in Puducherry?
The assembly strength of Puducherry is 33, of which 3 are nominated. So in effect, the election takes place to only 30 MLAs. And in that also, this Union Territory is actually distributed in 4 territories. One is Puducherry proper, which has 23 seats. And another one is Yanam, which has 1 seat. It's nestled in Andhra Pradesh. Another one is in Mahe on the western coast. And yet another one is in Karaikal, surrounded by Tamil Nadu on all sides, as is Puducherry. So it is very important for any leader or any party to keep the flock together, to have them all under one roof, have them all so as to stay glued to the party and work for everyone. This was the aspect which the Congress, in my knowledge, ignored in the last assembly. As a result, 6 MLAs of 15. That's a substantial amount. If you take it proportion-wise, 6 MLAs defecting tells a lot about the leadership or the connect that the leadership has with its own MLAs, with the grassroots level workers. And that possibly went wrong for the Congress, for which now the Congress is not the party in power in Puducherry as it goes to the poll. So keeping tab of their own leaders and keeping them connected, keeping them together, keeping the flock together was something which the Congress leadership was found wanting.
All right, Abhishek, I would bring you at this point in time. You let us know when we talk of, the issues which are there in any election battle in any state. Then earlier also we talked with Anibrato and Kamal about this. It's development, it's infrastructure, it's basic amenities. What is it that the election battle will be centered around this time around?
So Priti, in Tamil Nadu, there is a culture of announcing freebies and to some extent deliver it also by all the political parties, including DMK and AIDMK. This time also that freebie is still there, like everybody, including Kamal Hassan's M&M AIDMK, BJP, Congress, DMK, like all the political parties are promising freebies. But then there is a changing mindset that I've had an opportunity to interact with so many people who said that okay, that these freebies are good, but we still need something to earn and earn something on our own, and the government and the political party needs to address that issue, and that makes the employment one of the core issue in this state. Education, opening up new infrastructure, connectivity to various districts, and opening up new ways of trade and commerce. These are the major issues of Tamil Nadu. Urbanization is one of the issues which has become problematic in the recent years because of the fast-paced urbanization. The infrastructural capacity were not enough, and that has put a lot of pressure on the existing infrastructure and urban amenities. That has caused the drying up of groundwater, the drying up of lakes in the various of cities, and that has created a lot of water scarcity problem in the various cities of Tamil Nadu. This is one of the areas that people want to be addressed by their upcoming candidates and those who are going to be elected to power. Issue of urbanization, job opportunities, education, infrastructure development, connectivity, farmers issues are of course there. So these are the various issues that this time around Tamil Nadu's assembly elections are going to be centered around.
All right, thank you so much, Abhishek, and thank you so much, Ravi, for joining us with those inputs. Those are our correspondents, Abhishek joining us from Chennai, and our correspondent Ravi joining us from Puducherry, spelling out what can be expected in the days ahead when we talk of the electoral battle panning out. We'll keep you updated. Let's turn focus on to now updates coming in from West Bengal. Arrested Trinamool Congress leader and former convener of People's Committee Against Police Atrocities, Chatrudhar Mahato, was produced before a special NIA court in Kolkata. Earlier, a team of NIA officials arrested Mahato from Jhargram. Summons were also issued by the NIA to the key Trinamool Congress leader in Jungle Mahal region earlier this month in connection with the murder of a CPI Marxist worker Prabir Mahato in 2009. Mahato, who was slapped with charges under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, was released from prison in February 2021 and was appointed as an office bearer of the Trinamool Congress. Let's get you an update on the COVID front now. India has registered a significant achievement in its fight against COVID-19. The country's total vaccination coverage has surpassed 6 crore today. 6,269,782 vaccine doses have been administered. 8 states account for 60% of the cumulative vaccine doses given so far. Each of the 8 states has administered more than 30 lakh doses. As on day 71 of the vaccination drive, 21,54,170 vaccine doses were given. 7 states of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Punjab, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have reported high number of COVID daily new cases. Now, these states account for 81.46% of the daily new cases registered in the last 24 hours. The Union Health Secretary chaired a high-level review meeting yesterday with additional chief secretaries, principal secretaries and secretaries of 12 states and municipal commissioners and district collectors of 46 districts that are the most affected by rising cases and rising mortality because of COVID-19, and suggested a 5-fold strategy to curb the tide of new COVID cases. Now, these states are Maharashtra, Haryana, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Delhi, Jammu and Kashmir, Karnataka, Punjab and Bihar. In another significant development, the total tests conducted across India have exceeded 24 crore, while the cumulative positivity rate continues to remain below 5%. Strategically important Leh-Manali highway is open for vehicular traffic today. In a ceremony at Sarchu, border point between Himachal and Ladakh, Leh Executive Councillors Tanzane Chospil, BRO, Himang Project Chief Engineer Brigadier Arvinder Singh and Deepak Chief Engineer Brigadier MS Baghi together cut the ribbon to open the road for traffic.
Both teams very dedicatedly worked and cleared all the high passes starting from Patsio, Barlachla, Lachungla, Tanglangla, and we reached Sarchu on 20th of March after clearing all the passes. From last 7 days we stabilized this road. We made it into a double lane. On 28th March, today we are opening this highway, which is almost 2 months in advance than previous years.
In Myanmar, 114 people, including some children, were killed by security forces in a brutal crackdown on pro-democracy protesters yesterday. Now, according to news reports and witnesses, it was the bloodiest day of violence since last month's military coup. Myanmar Now news portal said that at least 40 people were killed in Mandalay and at least 27 people were killed in Yangon. Saturday's deaths would take the number of civilians reported killed since the coup to over 440 now. The killings, which took place on Armed Forces Day, drew strong renewed criticism from Western countries. British Ambassador Dan Shark said that the security forces had disgraced themselves and the US envoy called the violence horrifying. The UN and rights groups have expressed concern over the use of disproportionate force by the military junta on unarmed protesters, saying this could harm the fragile democracy. As protests still continue, activist group the Assistance Association for Political Prisoners has counted over 300 protesters have been killed in the weeks of unrest. Gunshots were fired at the U.S. Cultural Center in Myanmar's biggest city of Yangon on Saturday, an embassy spokesperson said. There were no injuries reported in the incident. The U.S. has been stringent in its criticism of the junta and that seized power in Myanmar on 1st of February this year, killing hundreds of anti-coup protesters by security forces. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday said that Washington was horrified by the killings carried out by Myanmar security forces. In a tweet, Blinken said, and I quote him, "We are horrified by the bloodshed perpetrated by Burmese security forces, showing that the junta will sacrifice the lives of people to serve the few. I send my deepest condolences to the victims' families. The courageous people of Burma reject the military's reign of terror." British Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab also condemned the killing of unarmed civilians in Myanmar. In a tweet, Raab said, and I quote him, "The United Kingdom will work with its international partners to end the violence, hold those responsible to account, and secure a path back to democracy." Two suspected suicide bombers blew themselves up outside a Catholic church in the Indonesian city of Makassar on Sunday, wounding 14 people on the first day of the Easter Holy Week, the country's national police said in a news conference in Jakarta. The congregation had been inside the church on the island of Sulawesi at the time of the explosion, police said, just as the mass was ending. The suspected bomber tried to enter the church grounds on a motorbike but had been stopped by a security guard, told the church priest. Police did not say who might be responsible for the attack, and there was no immediate claim of responsibility. Makassar, Sulawesi's biggest city, reflects the religious makeup of Indonesia, the world's largest Muslim majority country with a substantial Christian minority and followers of other religions. Peru has last week registered a record high of 11,260 new COVID-19 cases in a single day, as it suffers from the spread of a more contagious variant first identified in Brazil. Peru government said that a total of 40% of the confirmed COVID-19 cases in the capital Lima are the Brazilian variant, which entered the Amazon region in the northeast of the country at the beginning of the year. The Ministry of Health in Peru said that the total caseload since the virus first hit the country in March last year is now over 15,12,000. The deadly virus has claimed over 51,000 lives. Peru has been facing shortage of medical equipment and overstretched hospitals. In Spain, Barcelona music fans went through rapid COVID-19 tests ahead of attending a rock concert on Saturday in a trial that, if successful, could provide a route to recovery for the ravished live music industry in the country and beyond. Some 5,000 people attended the sold-out concert for a Spanish indie band, which were not required to observe social distancing. Attendees had to wear face masks throughout the concert in the arena. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison has extended greetings to the Hindu Australian community and Prime Minister Narendra Modi on the occasion of Holi. Morrison has tweeted, and I quote him, wishing our Hindu-Australian community, my good friend Narendra Modi and all people who are celebrating it, a happy and colourful Holi. Let's get to sports updates now.
And happy Holi to everyone celebrating the wonderful festival of colours. Last year, the colour and the life and the enthusiasm of Holi was overshadowed by the pandemic. Those difficult days meant that Holi was curtailed in just so many ways. Whilst the pandemic will still shape much of we still do, this year we can lift our eyes and look to the future with much greater confidence. India is doing a tremendous job, whether as part of our new Quad or more broadly around the world, making those vaccines, which is helping the broader world. It's that unity that gave us the strength to prevail against the most difficult of times. So in that spirit of unity, I wish you all a very happy Holi. Holi Kashub, Kamanaye.
Let's get to sports updates now. The Indian team of Rajeshwari Kumari, Manisha Keer and Shreyasi Singh bagged a gold medal in the women's trap team event at the ongoing International Shooting Sport Federation World Cup. Earlier in the day, India won a silver medal in the men's 25 meters rapid-fire pistol team event. The Indian team of Gurpreet Singh, Vijayveer Sidhu and Adarsh Singh were beaten by the US in the final. India currently topped the medal tally charts and has won 29 medals in the tournament, which includes 14 golds. And the third and the final ODI between India and England is currently underway at Pune. England once again win the toss and chose to field first in the series decider. India have made one change. Kuldeep Yadav has made way for left-arm seamer T. Natarajan. England, on the other hand, brought Mark Wood back in the place of Tom Curran. As the ODI series is level at one each, the decider promises to light up what promises to be another bumper. Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan start aggressively for India. England spinners Adil Rashid and Moeen Ali struck in quick succession after Shikhar Dhawan slammed 44 runs to give India a great start. Dhawan, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul fell as England made a comeback. Rishabh Pant scored 78 runs while Pandya scored 64. Until the last reports came in, India were 308 for 6. Alright, time now to end this edition of News Connect, but before we go, we leave you with images coming in from Iceland and we get you a glimpse of the dramatic lava show there. Bright orange lava oozing out, glows in the dark as it trickles down on the Reykjanes Peninsula, with a breathtaking phenomena taking place since the eruption on March 19th. Tourists, scientists, sightseers and photographers have been hiking to the site. Thousands of Icelanders are also flocking to see the volcano that continues to spew lava. The volcano has become a welcome distraction and a sprinkle of positivity in the dark times of the pandemic. Take a look. Bye-bye.